You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Nashville After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Nashville After Show.
Yeah!
How much have we missed that?
We've missed it so much. I feel like it's been so long. Hey guys, welcome to the AfterBuzz TV show for Nashville Season 2, Episode 20. Already, we're getting down there.
Can you believe there's been 20 episodes this season?
No, it's gone really, really fast. I'm your host, JJ Jurgens, and I'm joined here tonight by... I'll go.
Violet Kanian.
I'm Keetin Marchi.
Hi everyone, I'm Marisa Serafini.
Yay, we got Marisa out of the booth today!
Thank you,
Phil.
Yes, thank you, Phil.
Which can only mean that Phil is back there.
Yeah. And shout out to Whitney, who's actually in Nashville right now. That's why she can't be with us today. So, woo, we miss you, Whitney.
Yeah. Yes, we do. First, before we dive into this one, I just want to say real quick, how great was that special last week with I just thought it was this cast just blows me away. I just thought it was such a treat. Hearing all their music was just amazing. And I'm like, this show has to get picked up again. It was just so good.
They're so incredibly talented.
My favorite thing about kind of that special last week were those little behind the scenes moments where we actually saw their personalities. And I loved how when you saw them go out on stage, they were themselves. And in the interviews, they were themselves. Like frickin' Layla is like Miss Goth. Like I had no idea she has such dark hair, and like it was really enjoyable for me to see each of their personalities for the secondary characters, because I mean, when people do press tours for Nashville, it's usually Connie Britton or Hayden Panettiere. You don't really see the other characters get out there and see who these actors really are as people, and they're all so amazingly talented. It was so much fun to be able to watch them and see just how excited they were to be a part of such a unique show.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
really
totally
everything you just said.
Yep, that sums it up. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. So right away, let's talk Scarlett. Jeez.
Oh, that poor girl.
Every scene they show of her, I want to cry. I
just want to give her a big hug. Big hug.
She looks so rough too. Such a great job of playing it. Like she just looked amazing.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder if when she got the script, if she was like terrified about going this like deep into emotions, or if she was just like this is gold as an actor, like to be able to like jump into a character and like into all the stuff that makes her basically who she is, and why she was this meek Scarlett that all of us used to get so frustrated with, but now it's like we saw her gain strength and we saw her become her own person and become her like a strong woman, and then we kind of saw her kind of go too far to the point of break. And so it's just her character arc has been so awesome this season, but I don't like seeing Scarlett like this. It does break my heart. I agree with you.
It's hard to watch, but on the other hand, I do like it because of that, because we did always sit here for so long being like, oh, she's so mousy, she's so blah blah blah, and we bitched and whined about it, you know. And so now I like that we're getting to see the side of her that really is scary. I mean, I loved the I don't know if it's the episode before where she was at the piano. We all talked about how her face scared us so much because she was I really enjoyed seeing these moments from her character
when she sang and she sang that in the special last week, and it was just that song. I think that is one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song from the entire series of Nashville. I loved hearing the backstory about how everybody can kind of have their black rose, so I feel like anybody can really relate to that song.
The thing is with her character, because we've seen she's been so timid, and everything leading up to her exhaustion, her sleep deprivation, and her going to those pills to help her, we saw this thing unfolding before her, and you knew, I don't want to say it was predictable, but you knew with her, that kind of character, that she would be the most likely to kind of have that breakdown in a bit. Just the way it was presented was really heart-wrenching to watch, especially being on stage in front of everyone, and to go through that, you just feel for her. And then, but coming out of such a serious situation, coming out on top, she's getting better, and she's kind of winning in the end.
And learning from her mistake. You see so many starlets today out there who do go through situations like this. I mean, I feel like Demi Lovato is somebody who's very similar, who had kind of a breaking point, but has now like learned from it, and she's come back as such a much stronger performer and entertainer now, who is honest about what she went through. And, you know, Scarlett actually is doing the different thing, where instead of jumping back into the kind of entertainment singing, she's like, you know what? I've realized this isn't for me. And I love that scene between her and Connie and Raina. Where she's just like, where you see her kind of finally being honest with herself and being honest with Raina. And Raina was so awesome and so loving towards her and accepting of that decision, even though it hurt Raina. Like, that's good people.
And it's also, it's also kind of the timing in her career, because she's so brand new, and her career is actually really starting off right now. And for this to happen so early on is kind of terrible, but it's actually good in a way. So it's not like she's going back into it and then doing it for years and years, where it kills her slowly, and then she just ends up building this resentment towards something that she loves. So it's not like that. She's learning at an early stage in her life and career to realize that it isn't for her, and she needs to move on to better things.
Yeah, which can make it easier for her to bounce back from, I think.
Exactly.
Quickly. So what were your guys' feelings about Beverly?
I was just going to say, this is the one thing that, the only way I see empathy for Beverly, because I literally wrote probably my notes like a couple times, Beverly is a bitch. But honestly, it has to be, like, hearing Beverly's backstory and how, you know, with the situation with Deacon getting on, you know, she was kind of at this crossroads, and she kind of chose her what she feels like is the wrong path. But it probably kills her inside even more that Scarlett has worked so hard and gotten everything that she's ever dreamed of, and is now walking away from it. I mean, it's hard to have empathy for that woman, because it sounds like she was so evil to Scarlett, but obviously her and Deacon were abused as children as well. But to have to go through seeing somebody walk away from everything that you dreamed of as a child, that has to be heartbreaking for her and really, really hit her in the gut. So I do feel bad that she has to experience that, but I hope that she kind of supports Scarlett instead of, like, you know, hurting Scarlett or making her feel guilty about it.
That's something I love about the show. They've unraveled everything. They've showed us the backstory to pretty much everything. Why Deacon drinks, why Scarlett was starting to take the pills, because they could have just been like, oh, she's a pill taker, she's a pill popper, and then somebody catches her. But they made like this big thing about it and brought back her entire backstory. They don't just tell us the backstory, they show it to us. I love it.
I agree with you. I wanted to get your guys' opinion. One thing Keetin and I were talking about when we watched it, we couldn't quite get a complete read on Beverly, because she was so insistent of her staying in there, and she was so forceful, even with her hand, like, on, you know, gripping her and like pushing her. And I mean, is there any of it that you guys thought that maybe we discussed maybe she doesn't want her to succeed and like wants her to like stay in there and like kind of go through what she went through, and wanted her to have this breakdown so she was more like her?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like we see Beverly's backstory a little bit, and it adds more layers to why she's so complicated and why she's so dismissive of Scarlett at one moment, and then like really supportive of her and like, oh, I'll take care of you, honey. But it shows that she is really, I feel that she's a very insecure person, and the way she grew up, that she always had to work hard, but she never really got away, and that like added more defeat probably in her life. And I feel like seeing her own daughter have more successful life than she did, that shows her insecurity and probably jealousy. Yeah. And then trying to knock Scarlett back down to that level where she can understand and feel that defeat and failure. That's probably why, you know, you bring people down to her level. She's that kind of person, and that's unfortunate. And I'm not saying her layers and stuff justify her actions, but I can understand where it's coming from.
Yeah. And I completely lost my train of thought. Never mind.
It'll come back to you.
Well, we saw...
controlling.
Yeah, that's
Controlling.
to me. It didn't seem like I wasn't getting. Sorry, I didn't jump
No,
over
no,
you,
no,
but
no.
yeah, I didn't see her as her coming from this, caring mother. It came from more of a psychotic place for me. Like she was trying to control her and just like.
And she kept saying, Scarlett, you don't have to worry about this baby. This runs in our
That's what I was gonna say.
Like your grandmother went through
Yeah.
this. I went through this. It was just a matter of time before you went through. It was like she was just waiting for Scarlett to fail.
Yeah. And that's exactly what I was going to touch on. She kept saying, she said to the doctor, she kept saying it to Scarlett. And I almost feel like the sense I got was that she was trying to make it seem like this has nothing to do with the mom, the way the mom treated her. It's like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. Don't go telling everyone it's my mom. This runs in my family. It's part of my genes. So,
But Scarlett never does.
Yeah,
Scarlett never throws her mother under the bus. And it kills me. And that's another thing I was questioning. I know we talked a little bit about this during the episode, JJ, is how much does Deacon know? Like, Deacon has to know the abuse Scarlett went through. He has to know. I just, it's hard for me not to believe that he does or doesn't know, but why would he let Beverly take control when Scarlett was at her worst and be the one there when Scarlett wakes up from this horrible incident she had? It blew my mind, and I didn't understand it because I felt like Deacon has always been kind of Scarlett's protector.
Surrogate father.
Yeah. And we heard even Raina bring it up about when Scarlett was born, that she's never seen Deacon happier, never seen him like that. In such a positive way. So that really confused me in kind of the writing with this episode of with Deacon's character. I didn't get why he let Beverly be so involved when he knew their history.
It's also hard too, because we've seen in the past season 1 and most of this season that Deacon really does care for Scarlett, and he's taken on that leadership role in protecting her and always watching out for her well-being. But I think I kind of agree why he would let Beverly just come back into her life and control her this way. But it's also that tough line that mother and daughter, and unfortunately, as terrible as their relationship might be, you can't split that. And that's where the parental part comes in. And either way, Beverly is Scarlett's mom.
And
Go ahead.
and I also think that because Deacon knows what Beverly's been through, he can't kind of to take Beverly's side a little bit. You can't completely blame her for the way she's not just an evil person.
She doesn't know anything else.
Exactly. She's not just like, oh, I'm gonna beat my child. No, this is how,
It was just strange to me that Raina was so much more present, because obviously Raina knows about their history. Like her and Deacon were so close. Raina absolutely has. Maybe she doesn't know the extent of Scarlett's kind of childhood and maybe how Beverly might have lashed out at Scarlett, but she knows a lot. And so that I can understand like why Raina was there, why she was so present. I'm angry at Raina for how she treated Juliette, because I think that was very wrong of her. But I just... It's still, Raina was there. Why wasn't Deacon there? Why was he so absent?
I totally agree with you. I was frustrated. You heard me yelling at the TV, like, why are they letting when you go through something so traumatic like that, to wake up and then see the person who is really the reason why you're in there, and who you were like, exactly. It just, I would think too that Deacon, he's such a take charge kind of guy that knowing the history, he would have not let that happen, and he would have been there by her side when she woke up.
And also, if you think about it, from the previous episodes with Beverly, we saw that all the Beverly Scarlett scenes just happened to be themselves. And the audience saw it. We know how Beverly really treats Scarlett behind closed doors. Maybe Deacon didn't know that. Maybe he knew on some level that Scarlett was being emotionally abused, but on the verge of physical abuse too. Maybe he honestly didn't know about that and didn't know the extent of how serious the situation is between Beverly and Scarlett.
And Beverly kind of brought it up that Deacon always leaves. He's absent. So they kind of they battled back and forth about that. I don't know how much of it is true from what their past was, but I guess that's why maybe
it sounds like Deacon was ready to go start pursuing his music career. Obviously, Beverly has musical talents. She had a chance to leave with him, and she stayed because of a man. And she wasn't pregnant with Scarlett yet, but then by the time that she decided that she wanted to go and that she made the wrong decision, it was too late because she was pregnant at that point. So she had to stay, so she got stuck.
And that also probably built some resentment towards Scarlett as well growing up.
Yeah.
You take that on your daughter.
Again, that's why it's like it's hard because you see kind of like, again, it was her that Scarlett has Beverly's dream and Scarlett's walking away from it freely. She has every right to. And yeah, God,
I think it's the way you go about it.
Storyline. Yeah.
And the scene we talked about how great it was between Deacon and Beverly was so good too. Just so, you got so much history and so much the way they both played it was amazing. But I thought even interesting in that scene how he calls her out on lying, saying no, you weren't pregnant yet. You see a lot of things about her character very in a short amount of time that clue you into the way she acts.
The casting was amazing, I think, with Beverly because not only does she have such amazing sister chemistry with Deacon, which again that scene was so strong, but. She's on screen, and even before she said one word, I remember with the first episode she was in, we all kind of were like, wait, there's something about this woman. So you can just see her thoughts and how much backstory she's bringing to this character, and I love it, and I'm hitting my mic because I'm so excited. I need to get that actress's name because she is great, and even though she seems like a horrid, like the character she plays as a horrid human being. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think she a little. I don't want to say two-faced, but she plays both sides. The good person at the right times and the bad person at the terrible times.
She's like Gollum. Definitely. She's like Gollum and Schmeagol.
But she knows how to mentally mess with people's heads, especially Scarlett's.
Absolutely.
And then even when she was arguing with Deacon and hit him at his low point, rubbed some salt in that one. Well, you were an alcoholic person who always left, just like those jabs, constant jabs to bring people down.
Just like Daddy.
To bring people down.
Below the belt.
Yes.
So below the belt.
Great acting, though.
Yeah, it is.
Great acting. This episode was just so like I felt like it was a different type of Nashville episode. Like this, all the drama, it seemed so much more serious and less petty than any other like huge dramatic moment we've seen played out. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely have to give it to Scarlett. I mean, her character, you can see just the deterioration of her character, and going out the one scene with Raina outside when she's in her hospital gown, but knowing that she doesn't want to go back, just that emotional defeat as well, saying that she's not crazy. Well, right now your situation is not looking too great. I'm not calling you crazy.
I loved when Raina said that.
That was
awesome.
great. But it just showed me just a little bit, and we know that Scarlett's not really an addict, but she was on the first baby steps onto that path, which is sad because she was lying that she wasn't taking the pills and stuff like that. And like addicts are known for lying.
Speaking of Raina, like in this episode, I think we saw like kind of a growth with her character as well, and kind of being like, you know what, Highway 65 is my label. It was my baby. You know, if it has to fall on whether my CD makes it or breaks it, then that's what it's going to have to do. She kind of like finally let go of all the anxiety and stress of like, I have to make, like Scarlett has to be successful. She finally just like let it go and was just like, you know what, my family, and she said Scarlett is family, my family means more to me than any of this. So if I need to let Scarlett go, I'll let Scarlett go. And that interview she even had, she handled that situation in that interview so professionally. And just even when Beverly like came and attacked her and got all up in her face, Raina took the high road.
Oh my gosh,
she was like, bitch,
I loved it.
please walk away.
She is always the best in those type of situations. She can always just calmly and coolly shut somebody down so quickly.
I love the little Southern sayings they say just to like It's so calm, but it has a huge message.
At the end of it, she's like,
It's like a sting.
It's awesome. I love it.
Well, we can transition to maybe somebody who is not handling his business as well. We have Jeff, who then approaches Gunnar. What I liked about this episode is we see how Scarlett kind of affects everybody. So what did you guys think about Gunnar standing up to Jeff about when he called her crazy?
I love that because Zoe said, I keep wanting to call her Shaylee. When Zoe said, you're acting so cold, I was kind of like, yeah, he is kind of like, oh, whatever, she'll get over it. But then when Jeff says something about her, he's quick to her defense. So I love that.
I really like the part when Gunnar was actually watching the video of Scarlett because, like, Gunnar and Scarlett, I felt like, as much as they wrote and sang together, they never got this deep into each other's history throughout their relationship. Like, the only reason Scarlett even found out anything about Gunnar's brother, or like where Gunnar came from, is because his brother showed up on the doorstep. Gunnar didn't know any of this about Scarlett and has never seen, like, her like hit a rock bottom like that. And obviously he loved her very much. I still think he does love her because Scarlett and Gunnar should be together in the end. But it was interesting to see kind of because he was in like stuck in this in between. Like he wants to help her because he's scared for her, but he also wants to respect her and stay away. And so I love that kind of he didn't know what to do, so he just put it out in song, and that's kind of what Gunnar does.
What
best.
a pretty song!
Yes,
oh my
beautiful
gosh.
song. I loved how Gunnar's just reacted, his natural reaction. Oh, we should do something for her. We should visit her or help her out in that way. And that just shows, even though they're not together now, and like their business together really may not have worked out in the end, he still genuinely, truly cares for her. And I think that just that's a testament to his character, that he's just an overall good person.
And it was nice to see Zoe and Scarlett have that moment that, you know, we haven't seen for weeks with them not getting along. So
I'm
nice
so happy she decided to go, and it just shows that through everything, no matter what happened with guys between them, they're still best friends. And she knows everything. I'm sure she knows what Scarlett went through growing up. She was probably the only person there for Scarlett. So she's like, yeah, I need to be there for my friend right now, regardless what she's going to say to me.
Yeah, and it's good to have a friend back in Scarlett's life because she needs that right now. She might have people who care for her, but someone to, like, a best friend, your best girlfriend, you're just going to need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they finally met up and made up for that.
I loved it.
Me too. As much as
Despite
I'm still
the situation.
mad at her for, I'm still not letting that go.
Despite the
I must say, because I said it today when we were watching the episode, so I have to be honest. Like, I know I was kind of being like, Zoe and Gunnar, they're so cute, whatever. They annoy the crap out of me now together. And, like, the characters, something is very, very off. And I just want it to end. I want it to be a swift, clean kill to their relationship.
We never thought we'd heard you
I know.
say this.
I was so rooting for them
You
too because
were.
at the beginning there was so much sexual tension, but now it just there's something about it. It just bugs me, and I just want it to stop. I want Zoe to be successful and get a great career, either backup singing or like I don't know. No, I don't, because I don't want her to go away because I love the character and I love the actress. I want her to stay around, but she needs to find a different man because her and Gunnar, it's not.
They're not endgame.
They're not the end game.
They're not endgame.
Go ahead.
He kind of loses his edge for me when he's with her. It's too sugary sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
if you think about it, the song that he wrote, he was by himself, and it was about Scarlett.
But I'm so happy that when she asked about Scarlett, he's like, yep, like no hesitation, should I say? No, yeah, it is about her.
Yeah, well, I mean, she knows. He can't hide it from her. Like, that's her best friend. And the thing is, regardless of who any four of those, even include Avery, regardless of who any of them end up with, they're gonna have to just deal with it because they are all connected now longer than just forever. I mean, we saw that scene between Avery and Scarlett where Avery basically is like, you know what, Scarlett, you will always have a piece of my heart. And Scarlett's like, you are my first love. And it was such a touching scene, but it was also so honest because that's so true. Is like, even if you break up with someone and you know you're not meant to be with them in the long run, that doesn't mean that you will not always love them and have a piece of them be a part of you. And I liked the honesty of that scene. And I feel like this is such like a, oh God, this
soap
is
opera.
so deep.
I completely agree with you on that one. And we were both kind of mad that, you know, for Juliette to get so mad about that, because I do think that's a very realistic thing. I mean, I think sure we all have somebody in our lives, you know, goes back in the past that we have that, you just have that with. And I just think it really showed her immaturity to not be able to understand that. And especially when, I mean, given the severity of the situation, you know, they could have lost her, you know, a lot of things could have happened, and for her to still.
Well, and you have to remember that Juliette's never felt love, nor has I feel like she's ever truly been in love with somebody. And I feel like Avery is her first love. So obviously she's threatened, and obviously she's like, oh my gosh, like this is the first time I actually feel comfortable with somebody, and like I might, like I'm sure she thinks she's gonna lose him because she loses everybody who she actually feel like, you know, opens herself up to.
You know what's interesting though, if you think about it, tonight we see Avery say that he has a piece of his heart for Scarlett. But if you think about it, I think it was only 1-2 episodes ago where Juliette told Avery, you have my heart. And then now hearing that Avery's heart kind of belongs to someone else too.
Good one.
Marisa, bring it back!
I mean, I can kind of understand where Juliette might be upset despite the situation. But... And, you know, when she gives her heart out, which is really hard for her to do, and Avery's not showing the same full reciprocation of that.
I agree. I'm not too mad at Juliette. I don't know if I would call it immature. I feel like you said, she has never done that. She's never been so open and honest with somebody to say, I'm giving my heart to you. And then for him to be like, oh, hold on real tight. I'm going to go to my ex-girlfriend. I'm going to go take care of. She has a lot of people with her. She has Deacon with her. She has Raina with her. She has Zoe with her now. At the end of the day, Avery belongs, quote unquote, to Juliette, and he needs to be with her. If she's upset about the situation, he needs to deal with that. Because we know Juliette's craziness. She's gonna go do something crazy.
And I love Juliette and Avery together. I really, really do. I think they're so. I think they need to be each other's end game. But they're obviously going to go through a lot more trials and tribulations, and we're just going to have to deal with it on the drama roller coaster that is Nashville.
Well, before we dive into more Nashville, let's tell them about another amazing show.
Yes, if you want some more drama, you guys. Obviously, thank you all for watching Nashville again, our after show for Nashville again this week. But if you didn't know, our AfterBuzz founders, Maria Menounos and Kevin Undergaro, who have worked so hard to make our show happen for you, they actually have a show of their own on Oxygen. It's called Chasing Maria Menounos, and it's so much fun. It gives you an inside look of AfterBuzz, of Maria's life.
Studio C,
how
we're currently in right now.
It's a little bit different than I think other reality shows because they're truly honest and they really, really let you into their lives and who they really, truly are. And they're both great, amazing people. So we would really, really love for you guys to tune in on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. on Oxygen. You can get it on iTunes, Amazon, or on demand. It helps us keep AfterBuzz alive.
If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have AfterBuzz.
No. Yeah.
We wouldn't be here talking about Nashville.
Absolutely not. So, yeah, help support.
Yeah, check it out.
And you might see some familiar faces.
You might.
You just might.
You definitely see Phil and maybe this girl right here.
I've seen this girl on there.
This girl right
He was
here.
on the show.
No, Phil?
We both were on the show. You have to watch the show to
You'll
understand.
have to watch to understand, really.
Go watch it.
Keaton's other side was on the show.
Okay, Phil. Okay, Phil. That's enough.
Now you have to check
Now
it
you have
out.
to watch it just for that.
Do you know what else you guys can do though? Like we love when you rate and comment on our YouTube site on AfterBuzzTV.com. But also don't forget to go on iTunes, rate, comment there as well. You can download this podcast for free. We love the fan interaction, and we only have a couple more episodes left of Nashville this season. So get your voices heard.
Yeah, and we definitely want to hear your predictions for what you think is going to happen in the finale. How is the season going to end? What are you guys looking forward to? So
I hate that part. The cliffhanger.
Last season was so horrible.
That was a horrible cliffhanger.
It was the worst.
Oh my goodness.
It's like the worst cliffhanger.
Please don't do that to us again.
Please,
No, that was
please,
tough.
Nashville.
That was torture.
Don't do it.
It was.
So
Let's go back
Yeah.
into. Let's go back. We kind of started talking about Juliette, and then let's talk about her going. Having a little fun with Mr. Jeff.
oh my god,
You knew that was going to happen.
Can we not
vomit in
do
my
that?
mouth. Vomit.
Vomit.
I'm so
Over.
torn because as his character, yes, he's a big dick, but I love him and like as a person. Not I don't know him as a person, but I mean, I see like Connie Britton tweeting out pictures of him like with his shirt off, partying. You know,
He's hot.
Yes,
I'm gonna say he's hot.
I would love to see more
His
of
character not.
His
Yeah,
character's not.
of him instead
No.
of his character in the show.
No.
No, okay.
She is sick to her stomach.
I can't even think. I don't even want to talk about it.
The thing is, Jeff Fordham, he's such an a-hole. And but the thing is, when
beautiful.
Violet and I, we were watching together, and she made a great point that the only thing Scarlett can really offer to Avery is
Juliette can offer.
Juliette, sorry, these names. Juliette can offer is just sex and passion and stuff, and which is actually kind of sad because. Was Juliette ever in college, or did she get education? It seems like she's not as well-rounded as a person as everyone else on the show, or has that foundation to be a good person, and to have sex be her only offer to people and be the only thing that comforts her in trouble is kind of sad.
No, I don't.
So,
I would disagree with that.
Maybe not just sex, but definitely one of the things that helps her relieve any distress that she has in her life. But we kind of knew that she was going to go to Jeff just to be
spiteful.
To have comfort in her life.
I didn't know she was gonna go to Jeff.
I knew it. I called it out.
Yeah,
I was like, she's gonna have an affair with someone.
Yeah.
Do you know it was going to be Jeff before she, like, as she left her house that night?
I did not know it was going to be Jeff because Jeff is such an a-hole. And we've seen their interactions. They are not the best. Like, they don't treat each other well.
That
but
was
I knew
angry sex.
I knew Juliette was going to hook up with someone.
Yeah, because she's
absolutely.
just
Yeah.
that kind of person.
Yeah.
Out
She is
of
that person.
spite, let me get back at Avery for going off back to Scarlett.
I don't think it was getting
even
back
if-
at Avery.
Even if he didn't know, she's doing it for herself. Like I'm in spite of him for myself. I'm gonna go sleep with some person that
To make
I would
myself
never
feel
want.
better.
Yeah.
I think the reason Juliette sees sex as the closest thing she can feel to love. I think she has yet to differentiate just the sex and love, because I feel like she wasn't feeling loved by Avery, so she immediately has to go out and have sex with somebody, because then obviously that person somewhat loves her to have sex with her. I think she's obviously it's not true and she's very confused, but we know her history, we know how rough she has had it, but she seeks that out for validation when she doesn't have it, or she doesn't think she has it from other people.
See, I think she feels that the only thing she has to offer is sex. Like that's why I agree with you. And I honestly don't think that she thinks of it as love, because she would never want to be loved by Jeff. You know what I mean? That's someone that she hates. So it's something so meaningless for her, but I feel like she thinks so low of herself that she thinks that that's the only thing she has to offer to people. She doesn't realize that when she tries, like when she's with Maddie, Maddie, she was in the episode today, but she has so much to offer her, and she's such a good person with her, and she was being so good with Avery, and then this whole jealousy thing happens, and her immaturity kicks in, and
she was being good to Scarlett.
Yeah.
It made me so mad when Scarlett was such a biatch to her, because like literally Juliette, like she admitted that she was wrong and telling her to, like, you know, she was kind of just like, suck it up. And I don't think Juliette did that in a mean way when Scarlett went up to her. I think she was honestly trying to be like, honey, I get it. Sometimes you don't want to do it at night, but like, that's the business we're in.
That's your job.
You have to suck it up and do it. That's what you signed up for. So I don't think she did it out of malice.
I agree.
And then for Scarlett and for Avery and for everybody to kind of, in Raina, to blame Juliette, it just, and then nobody ever, as people started realizing, oh, it wasn't her fault, it's my fault, or it's, I pushed her too far, I pushed myself too far, nobody ever went and were like, Juliette, hey, we're sorry, thanks for helping out and keeping this hush hush. Like, obviously every time Juliette does something, she does it a little bit to help herself, but like, in the grand scheme of things, she did it for Scarlett.
Yeah.
To like, and for Avery as well, because she knows Avery still really, I mean, she doesn't want him to love her, but she knows Avery still really cares about Scarlett. And I think Juliette genuinely does care about Scarlett, even though she gets annoyed by her because she's threatened by her.
I think I'm so sorry. One last thing. I think she sees herself in Scarlett as well with the whole mom situation. So I do agree. I think it was genuinely telling her, just, I know what you're going through. Just pick yourself up and go out there and perform, and you'll deal with it when you get off the stage. But Scarlett's not as strong as Juliette.
And the only thing about that is she was really broken down in that situation. It wasn't just like a light, like, oh, I feel like going on tonight. So I do feel like that Juliette could have reckoned, we were all saying after that episode, she didn't even ask her to like talk about it more or find out more what was going on with her. She just kind of brushed her aside, which I think Avery was saying tonight. Like, you pretty much said the same thing, you know. Back to the sex thing, I think her thing with sex is it's the only thing that she can also control. It's the thing that she can like, she can't control any of these other situations, but she knows that she has a hot body and she can make a man want her, and then it makes her feel like she can control that situation and get what she wants out of it.
I love that, yeah.
Except Avery.
Except Avery.
Except
that's why
Avery.
And that's why she's, and then that's why she
truly loves her for the right reasons.
Which is also hard because we see everyone kind of go against Juliette, and then to also see Avery not show that same affection for Juliette. So I think that was like the straw that broke the camel's back that kind of led her to, you know, run into Jeff for some comfort. But just everyone that she thought she cared for in her life kind of turned against her. Yeah. I feel sorry for Juliette. And we did see her generally try to care for Scarlett. I mean, she's the one that paid to travel, you know, to transport Scarlett back to, you know, the hospital and pay for the bills. This is her, Juliette's doctor. So she's caring for that in a way, and then have people turn it, just to twist it a little bit against her. Like, no, this is coming. This is kind of out of my own pocket. I'm generally caring.
Yeah. She wasn't helping herself, though, saying it was my stage, my jet, my doctor. So I think she's immature in that sense. She doesn't realize, shut your mouth, say, I did everything I could at that moment. It was my stage.
Well, and I think at that point she was just putting all of her guards up. Yeah. Because everybody was like blaming her when she was like genuinely just like, is she okay? And people were like, you can go now. Yeah. You've done enough here. And it's just like, and so I'm sure that like that had to like turn a switch on her because, that's true. You know, so I don't know. I feel bad for Juliette, but I do love Juliette, and she makes a lot of wrong decisions. Yeah. And I'm still. Why was Jeff even at that party? Because wasn't this party for Raina?
I don't know.
Was it?
What was it? EBM?
I don't know. It was strange that Jeff was even there. But
I mean, if you think about it, Jeff is a high producer and stuff, an exec producer who's probably that kind of person who's always on the prowl searching for talent. So no matter what kind of party it was, he's that kind of person who's just going to be there for business.
Well, before we get into news and gossip, there's one more thing that I think we should touch on is the Will and Layla reality television show. That was this is out of left field.
That was the one thing in the episode that was just kind of like, what? Like,
I mean, I totally see it. I could totally see a new, you know, hot couple. She was on a reality show. She was on a singing competition. She's married to this guy who's the up-and-coming biggest thing in country music, like younger generation. So, yeah.
It's going to be on, like, CMT or E!
Yeah, like, exactly. I could totally see it on E! On E! You know, following them around their newlywed life, just like the newlyweds. I could totally see him like Nick Lachey. You know, it works. I could see that happening in their circle, but what Jeff said, you guys can talk about it. I can't even.
Well, Jeff basically is like, are you sure? Basically being like, well, I know you're gay. are you sure you want to let cameras into this intimate part of your life as a newlywed and you basically got married because you're trying to hide that you're gay?
Yeah, Layla is his beard.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
of course.
But
yeah.
Jeff is like being actually nice.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say nice. I would not say nice.
In the
I say
dickiest of ways, he's actually being like, hey, hello, Will, you're my artist.
But
I don't want to lose you.
He's trying to save himself with his own label.
Well,
so I don't think he's so much being nice, but as a business mind. But
I don't think it was out of
he's giving him the right advice.
Yeah.
I
think it was a little of him nice. I think that was him nice.
I think that's the nicest we're going to get, Jeff.
Yeah, I think that's
freaking Jeff.
God.
But I just think Will, I don't know why Will would think this would be a great idea at all. I mean,
it makes me so mad that he does things, he sees someone watching. Oh yeah, sure, okay, fine, let's do the show. What? Like,
but he wasn't okay with it at the beginning.
Exactly.
He was so not okay with it. They just convinced, and whoever they got to play that reality TV show producer, great casting again. Like that, like she like made me. I was like, oh.
She reminded me of Holly Hunter, the actress.
Yeah.
For
She
some
looked very
reason,
familiar.
just
I
like
don't
the
know where I've
way
seen her before.
her facial and the way she spoke, she reminded me of Holly Hunter, the actress, for some reason.
Shout out to Will, by the way. He favorited one of your tweets.
He did. Oh my God, Chris Carmack. I'm like, I was going crazy.
We love
and I
you,
saw her
Chris.
reaction. Her reaction was like through the roof.
That was
I'm
insane.
like, what happened? What happened?
Favorite.
Chris, we have 2 episodes left. If you want to call in or come in.
I know, please, Will.
We're here.
I sent you like 400 tweets already, so check one of them.
She's not a stalker, we promise.
Chris, not Will.
Everybody out there, tweet at Chris. Tell him to come on our after show.
And see Violet.
And So do you guys want to get into news and gossip?
Let's do it.
There you go.
All right, I just had
There we go.
Hey.
TV News.
Double.
All right, I just have one quick thing I think we all probably know by now, but since we haven't been here for weeks, that Aubrey Peoples was cast as Jem in the new Jem and the Holograms movie. Good role for her. Anybody else have any news and gossip?
Michelle Obama is going to be on next week's episode.
Which is interesting because Michelle Obama was just on Parks and Rec's finale too.
Yeah.
I mean, she's making a lot of appearances.
I said the same thing, and here I'm like, she was just on another show, and like, yeah,
Michelle is
She's making her rounds.
slow in the White House.
And I like that Kelly Pickler is going to be on next week.
Love
and I do
Kelly
Idol
Pickler.
AfterBuzz, so it's tying it all together.
Kelly Pickler.
You know
is the
what would be
cutest.
great? Because Kelly Pickler, she's an amazing singer, and she won Dancing with the Stars. If she also sang and danced on the show,
That'd be great.
Awesome.
I mean, that'd be an awesome cameo.
It'd even be better if she came and sang and danced on our show.
That would
Kelly.
be awesome.
Miss Kelly
That'd be
Pickler.
better.
We
Yes.
all love you. You're from my state of North Carolina, so please come on our AfterBuzz show.
You
We
could
would
kill
love to have
2
you.
birds with one stone because Idol takes
Idol,
before us,
and
then we're
then
after,
Nashville.
so yeah.
Perfect.
Kelly.
I think it's a
It was
must.
meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was meant to be. I mean, wasn't she Derek? She was Derek's
Derek
partner,
Hobbs.
and Maria was Derek's partner too.
Oh my gosh.
So many connections, Kelly Pickler. So many connections.
Awesome. All right, well, so let's dive into some predictions.
Predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Let me go before I forget. Okay, so I think what we're going to see happen is Scarlett is going to kind of take the backseat writer role, and Gunner's going to get pushed to the spotlight because that's where Gunner really, he can handle it, and that's where he truly wants to be. I think Gunner's going to get signed to Raina's label as an artist, and Scarlett's going to start writing with him again, and that's going to bring that relationship back. I don't know if we're going to get it at the end of this season, but I think that we'll see that next season.
That's so good. How do I follow with that? Well, the thing is, we saw in tonight that Gunner, he's finally making royalties off of that one song, and Jeff kind of, showed the reality. Hey, I have so many artists who are consistently having #1 songs. You can help. So we're gonna see Gunner get more successful, and yes, Scarlett take a backseat. So the roles are gonna reverse.
But they'll be together in the end.
Will they?
I was actually going to say that they would write together, but I like yours more.
Thank you.
Yes, I like this.
See, Whitney's not here literally writing the script. She's actually in
Yeah.
Nashville writing with them right now. No, but
She'll have a finale for us when she
She will
comes
tell us
back.
what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was going to say that those two are going to get back together as well. I also predict, I think we're going to see more of Jeff and Juliette.
Ew.
God, I hope not. I hope not.
It literally makes my stomach ache.
Oh, but we did see Gunnar saw them too. So who is he gonna tell?
Or is he?
Or is he gonna tell? He has to tell someone.
You know what?
It's Gunnar. Gunnar has. He's a very moral person. He's gonna tell someone.
Gunnar's got balls. Like truly, he's gonna tell Juliette. He's gonna confront Juliette and be like,
I think he's gonna confront Jeff and make him sign him as a singer. And use it against him.
Nah, I don't think he wants to do business with Jeff.
No. But if Gunnar did that, no, that's such a dark thing to do, and that's kind of out of character for Gunnar because we know Gunnar's such a good person. It'd be an evil, not evil, but like a dark turn for his character if he did go that kind of low. That's a Jeff thing to do.
But I mean,
Gunnar
against
thing.
Jeff, I'm all for it.
No, I don't think Gunnar's the kind of person who would play dirty just to get in the industry like that. He's one of those hardworking guys who works his way up the ladder.
True.
I think he's going to tell Avery.
Ooh.
We'll see.
And then Avery might flip out on him and be like, "You're lying. You're just jealous."
I'm excited.
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm so excited
When is
for
that
the
gonna
next
We have
couple
2 episodes left.
Yep.
Insane.
Wind
gonna
it
be-
down.
And next week's episode's for the troops, which I'm really excited to see.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yes, love it. That kind of reminds me of Toby Keith and what he does on an everyday basis for the truth, and always patriotism, unity, America, go America.
Yeah. And speaking of unity, let's all keep our fingers crossed. They're going to be announcing pretty soon whether there'll be a season 3 or not. So
I've heard it's very close to being yes. Just saying.
Okay. All
right. If there
it
not a
is
season
almost
3,
Monday, so
I'll be so angry.
I know if they leave it. Oh no.
no, heck no.
We'll have
They
to get
can't
the
do that to
beats
us.
out of Whitney.
Well, obviously they've already filmed the finale, so it's kind of crazy that they don't know whether there's going to be a season 3 or not, and they've filmed the finale. So I
Right.
wonder if they filmed different versions of the finale, being like, if we're done. This is what we're how we're gonna
close
edit it.
everything.
If we're not done, this is how we're gonna edit it.
Do we know
good.
that?
I like
Do
it.
we know their contracts too? Though, are most of the cast signed on for multiple seasons? That's why we have cliffhangers because of contracts usually. But if it is like ratings or something, then it might get X. God, I hope not. But yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe move it up an hour to 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock, and everybody will just be happier for it.
Agreed. All right, so excuse me, it's getting late here. Where can they find you guys at?
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and now on Vine at Violet Kanian.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at KeetinM33.
And you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Serafini TV.
And I'm at JJ Jurgens everywhere, and my blog, tomgirl.tv. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.